Hey guys, this is Tracy. It's been a week since I had my surgery. I had my vertical sleeve on Tuesday last week, June the 17th. So, this is my first post-op video, and I guess um, I should start. So, I want to try to remember everything that happened at the hospital because it is a part of my journey. Let me think here. I was supposed to have my surgery the Friday before, if y'all remember, but it didn't work out. And honestly, and when I look back on it, it was actually a good thing that I didn't have my surgery that Friday because um, I was on my cycle, and it. I have endometriosis, I have PCOS, and if any of you have any of those, you know that it's not any fun. So after I've had the surgery, I know that that would have just been horrible to deal with that, along with healing from surgery. So I know everything happens for a reason, and God had His plan, and thank goodness it was only a few days later. So anyway, I'm glad that I waited. So I was supposed to have my pre-op stuff done before I went um, on Friday, but that didn't work out. So I was gonna go to the hospital early that morning, early Tuesday morning, get my pre-op stuff done before I had surgery. But I figured that might be too long of a day, so I decided to do it that Monday. So I went and had all my pre-op, EKG, chest X-ray, and blood work, and pregnancy test, all those wonderful things before I had my surgery on Monday. So my surgery wasn't scheduled until noon on Tuesday, and they wanted me there by 9:30. So we left here, and we went to the hospital. Um, they immediately brought me into a room um, and laid me on the bed, and I changed into my gown, and they were big enough gowns because they're a specialty hospital. Actually, I'll talk more about this later, but they're ranked 5th in the nation in the whole United States. And they do bariatric surgery and like orthopedic, like spinal and neck surgeries. Um, and they don't overcrowd, and the nurses are extremely nice. But anyway, I'll go more into that later. Um, they laid me down, and I have the hardest time with them taking blood. They can never find a vein on me. And it's not that I don't have them, because obviously I do, but I have like so much fat on my arm. I mean, it has to be my arm. You probably can't see, but it's pretty fat, and I've got a lot of fat around where my veins are. Um, so when they try to find them, they're disappeared beneath all these layers of fat here. So I told them you're probably gonna have to do the IV in the hand, which I guess they mostly do anyway. But that took honestly, about 45 minutes for them. Um, all my bruises are pretty much gone now, and they finally ended up putting it in my hand right here. You can probably still see a little bit of the bruise. They had to use a certain size needle because my veins were so small in my hands that it kept popping out. Because they want to be able to squeeze blood or whatever immediately when you're in surgery if there's an emergency. So that was very frightening. And whenever I was sitting there waiting for them to come and wheel me into the pre-op holding area, whenever I had my first child, I remember going in there and this lady in the room next to me screaming. And I'd never had a child before, and I remember I was in the bathroom. I was like just relaxing in the jacuzzi tub, and the lady scared the crap out of me because she was in there. Get her out! Just take her! Yeah, it's not something you want to hear when you're trying to relax in a tub before you give birth. I thought the lady was dying in the room next to me. So when me and my husband were waiting, after it took him about 45 minutes to get my IV in, this lady comes down the hall. I guess they just wheeled her out. Um, actually, I know what happened, but I'll tell you that in a minute. So I'm sitting there. I'm already scared to death. And this lady comes down the hall. Lord Jesus, take it out right now. Oh, I can't handle it. Just take it. And it made me think of right before I had my first son. And I thought, my husband looked at me like, my gosh, are you sure you want to have surgery? And I was thinking, no, I really don't. Because this lady scared the crap out of me. She was loud, and she was waiting on the hall. And all the nurses ran in there. Anyway, come to find out later, after I'd had my surgery, she had I don't know if it was the bypass or the sleeve, but she kept throwing up and she couldn't keep anything down. And so she had to come back in because she was dehydrated. And she hates IVs. So she was throwing a fit because she was scared of the needle and she wanted them to put her to sleep. Like general anesthesia, put her to sleep to give her the IV for some potassium because it was messing with her heart. So I thought they had just butchered the poor lady and she was coming out and it was like a warning from God to run fast from the hospital. But yeah, that's not what happened. But it scared the crap out of me. I'm just being honest. So anyway, they finally, after they dealt with her, they brought me back into this room. Um, I guess it's like a pre-op holding area. And they did some more EKG and blood pressure and all those wonderful things. And they put those things on my legs before I even went into surgery that squeezed the blood. So I did that. And I remember waiting there. There was another guy that was having the sleeve done after me by a different doctor. I couldn't see him, but I could hear him. And I remember sitting in there, and they made me put the little hair thing on, and the doctor was running late because he had done 2 lap band surgeries that morning at another hospital. I guess it's one of the bigger hospitals, but he likes the bariatric one because they just have, um, I guess it's a better hospital with more technology and equipment and things like that. So, by the way, I've only got like 3 minutes left, so I guess this is going to be a 2-part video. I thought I might be able to squeeze it into one, but 10 minutes isn't long enough for me to talk, especially when I'm this tired and I have a lot to say, because y'all know I like to talk. It's always been a habit of mine. I always got in trouble for talking when I was in school. I used to get like notes sent home. Tracy talked in class today. So, yeah, it's always been an issue. Anyway, so I'm probably going to have to cut it off here in about a minute. So, what was I going to say? I sat there and waited for him to get back. My surgery was scheduled at noon. But I sat in that room and they pulled the curtain, so you're in this little cubby holding area, and the curtain makes like a U shape. So, back against the wall here, my bed's against the wall, and the curtain comes around, and I can hear them like whispering. They had a radio going. Um, I was in there for like 2 hours, and I was scared. I was alone. Nobody was talking to me. And I just heard that lady come out screaming, and I didn't know anything. I didn't know that it was all because she didn't want an IV. So it was very frightening, and I have to tell y'all, I am not ashamed to say, I cried like a baby. I just boo-hooed. It made me feel better because I was so nervous. But yeah, I cried. I was scared. I was scared I was gonna die. I was scared of what the pain was gonna be like. When I woke up, I was scared. And when the doctor came in, he was very nice. Because he saw me crying, and he was like patting my hair and rubbing my arm and told me it was going to be okay. And I said, I'm fine, I'm just nervous. And they went ahead and gave me some medication because I guess, they don't want people going back there scared for their life. Just give me the good stuff before I go back there, because I knew I wasn't going to be fun. So, I guess I'm going to stop now, and then I will tell you all the rest, because I've got okay, now it's been 10 minutes. So, I will do a part 2.